You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
You know what I mean?
Money to be made in a place like this.
Money never sleeps, pal.
You're crazy. Don't run when you lose. Don't whine when it hurts.
You know what it takes to sell real estate?
It takes brass.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
All right. Welcome to Money Never Sleeps. This is a show where we touch on anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And, everyone's talking about what's going on with what President-elect Donald Trump is trying to do, which actually what he's doing. He's executing before he's even in office, which is pretty interesting. I haven't seen too many president-elects do that, and he's being very proactive with everything. And if that doesn't send a message out, to the world, nothing else will. But I wanted to talk about something specific. In America, we went from being a manufacturing industrial nation, leading the world in technology, innovation, so on and so forth, to becoming a service nation. Now, there's nothing wrong with servicing. We need services. However, we need innovation, and that's something we need to get back to, and get back to basics. And by doing that, you want to have innovation in everything that you can, from automotive, aviation, to everyday products. We're involved in this technological revolution or evolution. And basically, we're jumping into the Internet of Things. The Internet, just, a little over, 20 years ago wasn't even here to the masses. And we went from the AOLs to where we are today with Google and everything else and Amazon. The bottom line is, the Internet of Things is going to be huge, and, because everything's going to be connected in some way. We just want to avoid the Terminator situation. Don't want that. But, when doing that, you need the manufacturing part of it. And that's why, what we're doing. And I'm just talking about something on my end with Falcon Global Acquisitions. We're actually looking to do bring a lot of manufacturing to Middle America. And we're in the process of doing that now. The one thing that I don't understand, and I don't think it just becomes interesting, how you have towns that have been decimated over the years because industry has moved out, people move out. People need to work, and if there are no jobs, how are they going to work? Even though they may like a town and like living there and so on and so forth, when business starts leaving. No jobs are there, you're looking elsewhere. Either you're looking for a town over. If you're in a city, you're looking for something else. And it comes to a point you have to go where the jobs are, and you wind up relocating. And it winds up bringing a town down further and further. And we've come across towns like this. And in us trying to bring manufacturing in various areas to these towns, it's just interesting to me how we've hit, in some cases we've hit a brick wall. We hit a block. And it has nothing to do with the people. It has to do with the politics. Okay, where you have, towns, small towns. Maybe they may have a population of 10, 20, 1,000 people. But they have, 10 people on a board that really dictate what happens in town. And they wind up going and basically, having a big city view on a small town, which is unfortunate because what winds up happening, they don't see beyond the brick, and they don't see how manufacturing and other industry coming into their town can revitalize it. So as opposed to pushing manufacturing out, they should embrace it and try to work with the companies looking to bring it in. Okay, and it just annoys me because when you're, especially on our part, when we're going and trying to actually create jobs, thousands, tens of thousands of jobs that we're looking to create, over the next 3 to 5 years, and we can't do that if we're not getting any help from the counties, from the towns. We're not going to go and revitalize a town and have the town officials just sit there and just watch it happen and benefit. They have to get involved and be proactive and be a part of the process. And this is a problem that we're facing. We've had some success with some towns, but other towns, it just blows my mind. And I would love to just rattle them off because I don't understand it. You have a town that towns that are crushed due to the economy and due to lack of jobs. But what are you doing to revitalize the town? And if you have a small population there, if that's something that you're content with, then what's the purpose of economic development if you're not looking to bring business to the county? So there are a lot of little things there that just happen to annoy me, and I'm just venting it on Money Never Sleeps because it has to do with business, and I'm sure that we're not the only group that actually has dealt with this. All right, and I wish things would be a lot easier, especially now as we're going into this new administration. It should be easier to get things done, especially if you're creating jobs. And this is my hope with President-elect Donald Trump getting into office, that it'll make it easier for groups like ours to actually go and create jobs here in America and build and generate revenue and generate tax revenue and so on and so forth for the counties or cities that we wind up having our businesses in. So I just hope that there's an inherent change in how these counties and towns view things, because in the end, if one county or one town doesn't take you, somebody else will, and you'll get the incentives and everything that you need to actually make things work, not for a year, but for the long haul. Longevity is what's important. Creating, 1,000 jobs that are only going to last a little while doesn't matter. Having sustainability is what matters, and this is what we're trying to do. Okay, so, but I think that there should be more accountability within these boards to actually really look at what's best for the town and make a deal that's going to incentivize companies to actually go even to those counties or surrounding counties, because once you do that, it trickles down. It trickles down around the surrounding counties and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's my these are some of my thoughts this morning. But I do want to talk about what's going on with AT&T and Time Warner. It's an interesting deal. Do I think personally do I think the deal should happen? I would say no. You have AT&T. They're making various acquisitions across the board. I wouldn't even call it a vertical integration. It's just interesting because they're looking. They took over DirecTV. They're looking at Time Warner, and with Time Warner, it's not just Time Warner. It's everything. Is their movie library, their music library. They have a lot of trademarks. They have a lot of assets. Okay, that a lot of people, whether it be Netflix, Amazon, they utilize these assets. So now if AT&T with their DirecTV and they have all that in order, they take over Time Warner, what happens? Does Amazon not have access to these properties any longer? Does Netflix not have access to these movies and shows and whatever they may have? And what happens then? So they take over Time Warner and they merge with them. They take them over. That's not even a merger. They take them over. And what's going to transpire after that? What's the next step? So do I think this is going to go through? I would say no. And if it does, again, I would think it would be unfortunate. People are looking at it and they're saying, they're saying, if you can see me right now, I'm just putting little quotation signs up. They're saying that this would be a benefit for the cable industry and make it more competitive. I don't understand how. Because if AT&T has DirecTV, they want to push their products. Why would they go push another product? And Time Warner itself, from what I understand, Time Warner is separate from Time Warner Cable. So how does that work? And again, maybe I'm missing something with that. And if I am, definitely, let me know. But again, these are just, thoughts that are coming to my mind, this morning as I'm doing the show. I was going to touch on a couple of stocks and a couple of companies, but I decided not to. I just wanted to get this out there. And just for those that are trading oil, I've been saying this for the longest time. Oil has a trading range right now of between 40 and 50. When OPEC met and they made a deal and all this other stuff, this is an old story. This is like a rerun of other stories over the decades. And then what winds up happening, oil, from what I'm seeing right now, because now you have other options. You have other options, especially in the United States with fracking and everything else. So do I think that oil being above 50 is overstated? Yeah, I think it is. I think it should literally be between the $40 and $50 trading range, for the foreseeable future. Because you have other types of energy that are coming into play. So anyway, I would just be careful with that. To me it's a head fake, but I would just be careful with it as you're looking at it. All right. Anyway, that's about it for this edition of Money Never Sleeps. I'll be back with you tomorrow, and I do want to touch on some stocks that may have something interesting going on. But I'm looking to get some additional information before I say anything about them. But I hope to bring them on the show tomorrow, talk about them, and touch on some other topics. All right. Until then, I want you guys to have a great trading day, and go out there and do some good out there as well. That's going to be part of my ending message. Do some good out there. Go have a positive trading day, make some money, and try to do some good out there in the process. All right, you guys have a fantastic Wednesday, and we'll be back with you next time on Money Never Sleeps.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
All opinions expressed by Luis Velazquez on the Money Never Sleeps radio show and its website are solely his opinions and do not reflect the opinions of the UCW radio show or their parent company or affiliates, and may have been previously disseminated by him on television, radio, internet, or another medium. You should not treat any opinion expressed by him as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of his opinion. His opinions are based upon information he considers to be reliable, but neither the UCW radio show nor its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. The UCW radio show, Luis Velazquez, its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries are not under any obligation to update or correct any information provided on the radio show or on the website. His statements and opinions are subject to change without notice. No part of his compensation from the UCW radio show is related to the specific opinions he expresses. Please read the full disclaimer on MoneyNeverSleepsRadio.com.